Welcome to the 11 Warriors halftime report. Jason Priestis, Chris Lauterbach live from the 11 Warriors bunker downtown Columbus. 49-0 Ohio State at the half. All Ohio State. I don't know. I knew Ohio State would win this game probably. I don't know if I expected 49-0 at the half.
Yeah, I was thinking Ohio State's going to cover the spread today, but not by a bunch. Definitely did not foresee 49 points in the first half and on 500 yards of offense.
Is that what they finished with? 500 in the first half? 500 to 116. Looking down at some numbers, Buckeyes scored on their first 7 drives. The only 7 drives they've had in the first half. No punts. Ruggles with 7 PATs. Kenneth Walker, man, came into the game as a Heisman candidate for Michigan State, leading the nation in rushing. Over 1,000 yards on after contact, 81 forced missed tackles. Great season. 5 carries, 24 yards.
Yeah, well, we said before the game, this is what Michigan State could not afford. The strength of their team is running the football, and they could not do that knowing that they were behind, right? So we still got some carries, and they're kind of forcing them to them there a little bit. But, yeah, Michigan State is not a team that's set up to play from behind, so it got away from them pretty quickly there.
Let's look at how it happened. Bucs scored on their first possession. Well, they're going to score on every possession, so it'll be a little redundant. Chris Olave, 23.
After a bad kickoff, like they kind of muffed the kickoff a little bit, and then had a false start to start the drive.
Right.
And then it's just been a jailbreak.
Yeah, just a beat down. You got Chris Fowler talking about lead pipes and friendly skies and all kinds of stuff with Michigan State. Chris Olave, 23-yard touchdown reception from C.J. Stroud to get it started. Bucs held. I think they got a fumble from Michigan State on Michigan State's ensuing possession. And then Garrett Wilson's 77-yard touchdown toss from Stroud. Olave had a 43-yarder after that. It was a nice one. He also had a really, really nice catch to kind of turn his body to get the ball down to the 1 for another touchdown later. Julian Fleming with a 4-yard touchdown pass. Mayan Williams with a 1-yard touchdown run. Garrett Wilson with another 12-yard touchdown reception. And then JSN got on too. Had a 5-yard touchdown reception. Kind of closed the scoring in the first half. But, man, the numbers it looks like it's not safe for work, man. I mean,
I tweeted. I thought they were going to have to move this game to Cinemax and about midway through the second quarter, but they kept it on ABC.
Yeah, our pants were on the whole time, just for the record. What was your best case scenario for a first half?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought Ohio State was going to win this game by a little more than 3 scores. I think I turned in 45-24 or something like that. So I didn't expect Ohio State's defense to play as well as they did. I thought the offense would score points. Now, obviously, going 7 touchdowns in a row, I don't think too many people had that. But the defense, I thought, really stepped up. A couple of those series really talked about a lot of the offensive stats, obviously, because that was the really the tenor of the first half. But I think they had 7 PBUs in the first half. Actually, with like 9 minutes left in the second quarter, they had 7 PBUs.
That's a season's worth. For
this definitely more than the average game worth. Yeah. I mean, it literally is. Strung together 3 straight 3-and-outs at one point. The defensive line's been really good. You saw Ty Leak pretty much blow up one whole series by himself. Yeah. Had a hurry and a tackle for loss. Tyreek Smith, I think, has been the best defender on the field so far for Ohio State. We knew Michigan State's offensive line was a problem. You talked about Kenneth Walker, those yards after contact. Well, a lot of that's because he's really good, but also because Michigan State's offensive line sucks. He's already tried to veer and avoid guys at the line of scrimmage, not at the second level, even before today. You saw today he just didn't have a lot of room to run, and I think the defensive line deserves a ton of credit for that.
Peyton Thorne, Michigan State quarterback, came in second in the Big Ten in passer rating. Not bad, right? Back and throw a little bit. He's got some good receivers. He's 8 of 26 for 77 yards. Not a good first half there. Otherwise, C.J. Stroud on the other side of the ball, 29 of 31, 393, 6 touchdowns. That's a 94% completion percentage, 260, almost 264 quarterback rating. Mm-hmm. It's not too late, man. If you got tweets from September about C.J. Stroud, you go back and delete
them. You got to burn those down. Yeah. When you think about it, the 2 incompletions, the first one was on a rollout to the right, hit Garrett Wilson in the numbers. Wilson was kind of with his back to the sideline and dropped it. So that was one. And then the second one was a fairly deep shot. It kind of landed in between Olave and Wilson. Those guys were clearly mixed up on their routes because they were kind of in the same area. Mm-hmm. So that was definitely a legit incompletion. But the first one to Wilson was not. I mean, the dude Stroud has been perfect. He even ran the ball once and got
to go first down.
Yeah, and the Bronx cheer from that stuff drives me nuts. Like, Stroud is doing everything you could possibly want him to do.
I'll take the other side of that because I've seen sports writers roasting fans, Ohio State beat writers the last 2 weeks. Like, oh, he's leading the nation. Why do you care about him running? At some point, you're going to need to run. And why not give defenses some
Agreed.
That's like saying the U.S. military is a strong symbol. We should stop defense spending and stop
No,
developing
that's
new
fair.
weapons.
But the Bronx cheer on it, I think, is weak as hell.
No, it is.
And like I said,
give
there's
you
some
that.
yin and yang there of he's taken 7 sacks coming into today. He took another one today, which, I mean, there was nothing he could really do.
Yep, so 8 on the year.
So what do you want? You know, I mean, I wanted to
21.
run a little bit more and take those 3 or 4 yards when they're there, don't get me wrong. But I think he is going to do that down the stretch here. I don't think he wants to get hit. I understand, I agree with that. But I also think Day is like, well, hell, if he doesn't really like it, that's not his strength. Let's do it when we really need to have it. So he did it today on one where he really needed to do it. We'll see if he does it next week and beyond in games where we're going.
All right, got a YouTuber commenter, White Van, which is, okay, that's a good name. Said 49 Zip called the morgue.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it was body bag city by. I mean, once it was 21-0, you knew it was over because Michigan State was just having a hard time moving the ball. I mean, on their first 3 series, they did nothing. They had a missed field goal, but the defensive line was just on fire right from the rip, and then Hickman forced a fumble on that third drive.
I saw a Reddit college football Twitter account tweet out that Mel Tucker should spend halftime on DocuSign because he supposedly has that 10-year, $95 million. Might want to sign that as quickly as he can because they're going to come down on that. And, you know, you got to think, if you're LSU, are you kind of like, ooh, maybe we should look at someone else right now? Or you're just like, hey, this is one game, whatever.
Yeah, you know, I don't understand why you would ever do that right in the middle of the season anyway. It's not like anybody's going to poach him right now, so I don't know what the rush would be.
Well, never too early start talking, right? Tell them how good it is down there in Baton Rouge and with the crawfish.
I'm saying for Michigan State to offer him all that money. I mean,
it's
still, he's not going to go anywhere mid-season.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get ahead of it, too. Some numbers from the receivers. JSN 8 for 76, 1 touchdown. Olave 7 for 140 and 2 touchdowns. The 2 give him sole possession of the Ohio State record for most receiving touchdowns his career. He's got 35.
Think about that.
Breaking David Boston's 34.
I mean, there's all these position groups.
25 years ago. Boston said, right?
I mean, there's all these position groups that you can just list guys for days. Wide receiver is definitely one of those. For him to be the all-time career touchdown leader, passing Boston and past Chris Carter a couple weeks before that. I mean, that's heady stuff right there.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson 7 for 126 and 2 touchdowns. Again, had a long 77-yard touchdown. Travion Henderson 9 for 63. I mean, quarterback's throwing for 393. You're not going to get a lot of touches. Mayan Williams 4 for 35, and of course the touchdown there.
And my favorite run from Mayan is Ohio State got 2nd and 18. It was like after the Stroud sack, they were 2nd and 18. They really haven't seen anything like that all day. Next play, 19-yard run. I'm not real sure what Michigan State's defense was doing there. There were no linebackers even on the TV screen. And, runs it for 19, no problem, to set up another score.
Well, if you're Mel Tucker, what are you saying at halftime? What do you say?
I think this is where you got to play on the, tug on the
Wait, the second half? Is that where you're going with that, maybe?
We still got a lot to play for, blah, blah, blah. Pride, that kind of thing. I mean, we'll see what happens. I can't imagine they think they're going to get back into the game. I'm honestly just as interested to see how Day approaches it on the other side.
Yeah.
Is this a week that, you blow Michigan State's doors off and maybe Oregon gets by Utah, but it's a little scary. We'll see what happens with Cincinnati later against SMU. Is this a chance where Ohio State could actually leapfrog somebody, and I know since he's behind, but leapfrog somebody that's in front of them this week? It seems like it's a possibility depending on what Oregon does.
Yeah, we'll see what shakes out in some of these other games. What are you drinking this week, by the way? Let's
we're doing a little Elmer T. Lee today. We got Ramsey in town today, so I thought we'd break out some headier stuff. So yeah, impossible to find. Secondary market prices are ridiculous for that, but that's like the first ever single barrel.
What's ridiculous?
The cost on secondary market is probably between $250 and $300, whereas at retail, which you'll never find, is $40. It drinks like it's probably like $100 maybe, something like that. It's definitely not worth $250, $300. First I think it was the first single barrel that paved the way for Bland's to become then maybe the most popular single barrel after that.
Yeah, I got Seventh Son Assistant Manager. Again, you can get the whiskey glass at drygoods.leavenwarriors.com. They're fantastic. Drinking one will raise your IQ points, make you look more handsome, thinner, all the things you want to be in life. You mentioned Ramsey's here in town for watch a game. Would not go to the game because he said the last 3 Michigan State games he went to, they lost.
I think this cinches that he could never go to one again. And actually, he's got to sit here with us.
Your son going to Michigan State games. You got any Facebook Live comments worthwhile, though?
We got some people complaining that we haven't seen a long run from Travion Henderson yet. Which
49-0, okay.
Yeah, it's
all right.
It's not going to be a lot. It's overwhelmingly positive. I will say we did have a reader bring up that botched replay where Spartan caught the
yeah.
ball.
Oh, yeah.
Three steps, and then he fumbles, and it was ruled an incompletion. And if anyone watched the 2019 Fiesta Bowl, we remember that's actually the correct call.
Yeah.
3 steps and a fumble is an incomplete pass when
Yeah.
you're playing Ohio State.
Same
Great play by Burke. He basically forced that fumble on his back. I mean, Herbie broke it down very well. Just an awesome play by Burke, who got dinged there in the first half. I think most of us saw that was kind of reaching for his shoulder after he defended a pass on a crossing route, and then came back a little bit later, not worse for the wear. That was, frankly, in the moment, the thing that was scaring me the most. It's like, okay, this game's in hand, but if you don't have Denzel Burke, that's a shot to your national title hopes, 100%, especially Banks. Banks not playing this weekend. He's obviously dinged. You need Denzel Burke back there, and Kalen Brown managing the outside.
Some other scores from around the nation. Number 1, Georgia, 49-0. Same as Ohio State, but they're playing Charleston Southern. Ohio State's playing number 7 Michigan State. A little different opponent there. Clemson up 17-10 over number 10 Wake Forest. Number 13 Oklahoma leads Iowa State 14-7 at home there. And Texas A&M is playing Prairie View. Prairie View A&M, I believe. It's cut off. I'm assuming it's a Prairie View A&M Power. 45-0 at the half there. Or start of the third quarter down in College Station. And Mississippi State rolling Tennessee State 35-0. Start of the third quarter there. Got some Big Ten scores. Purdue 13, Northwestern 7 up at Ryan Field in Evanston. Penn State at the half 7-0 over Rutgers. Feels like it should be a little more of that, right?
It's a rivalry game, though.
Yeah.
Draw out the records.
The East Coast corridor rivalry. Give a thumbs up to the Buckeyes. Says where goes one. All right, that's for real. R.I.P. MSU from B Threat TV. That's pretty accurate. Garrett Wilson 61 away from 1,000. Olave is 152 away. Thomas Clark weighs in to say that. Anything else happen on Facebook? Anyone asking for the score this week?
Defense is looking. No one's asking for the score. Defense looking national championship caliber from Doug Wired. And how does Alabama stay at 2 when they lost to a lower ranked team and they don't have a win this good?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Part of my rambling about potentially Ohio State moving up, even if the teams in front of them win this week.
Right.
Instead of Oregon going to play a tough Utah team. Now, if they win in Utah, they're going to get credit for that.
Utah's favored by 3.
Yeah,
they might have to put up a big score.
Yeah, but what Ohio State's doing, you got to take note. So all the stuff you rattled off in the first half, I'm sitting here looking. What was maybe like the craziest stat or facet of that first half for you?
I think just how hot CJ's been. He's been good for the last 6 weeks. Really, really good. But and Michigan State's got a terrible pass defense. Everyone knows that. But 29 of 31 in the first half, when one's a for sure drop, could easily be 30 of 31 in the first half for 393, 6 touchdowns. He just looks really, really good. I know he's got some great weapons to throw to. What about yourself?
Well, just to build on that real quick, man, the offensive line, he has had all day to throw. And these running lanes, when they have right, I know someone was upset that Travion hadn't broken a long one yet. But, man, you have seen just some huge holes. Munford continues in run blocking to just be superior. I feel like most of Ohio State's best runs are going to the left side of the field. But I don't know, what jumped out to me is just kind of skimming there where you're reading the scores is that Ohio State's ran 49 plays, and only 2 of those have been on third down. Unreal. So you're just, not only you're marching out the field, you're doing it quickly. I think they showed a stat.
2 for 2 on third, too.
Yeah, well, there was really 3 third downs, and one was that they jumped off sides, so you didn't actually snap the ball there. They had the contact, and therefore it wasn't a free play. But I think we saw, the last 5 touchdowns, they were either 4-play or 6-play drives. I feel like the first 2 were 4 plays, and then the next 3 were 6 plays. And those weren't going 30 yards. You were going the length of the field on a handful of those. So just ridiculous offense. But only facing 2 third downs in 49 plays is pretty interesting. Conversely to that, Michigan State
10 on third.
Yeah, they've ran 37 plays, and 10 of those were on third down.
Has Sparty crossed the 50 yet?
Yeah,
no, they did early.
They missed a field goal.
They did early. Yeah, they did miss a field goal. But other than that, that's the only time they've across the 50, right?
Yeah, they had one decent drive. The one that should have ended in a fumble, but did not.
Would you start your starters in the third quarter? Ryan Day?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's shown that he'll do that in other games. They've been lopsided scores. We'll see how long they stay in after that. But I think he likes the whole, you go into halftime. I don't know what adjustments you could possibly make, but you go into halftime, you cool down, you come back out and fire back up, and then try to execute something that you would, strategize in the halftime locker room. Again, it sounds a little silly because everything's working. But I do think that going to the locker room, cool down, come back out with intensity, ready to go, is something he's asked of his starters and other blowouts against even lesser teams, right? Obviously, this game is over from a decision standpoint, but Hell, even Akron, right? The
Call it.
starters came back out.
Call the game.
Call him again. Yeah,
You
I
feel
think
pretty good?
Tucker's probably trying to either call it or get a running clock. But yeah, this thing's over. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Stroud and those guys play a couple series. If they don't score on the first, I think he can play as many 3 series in the second half.
Here's the thing about Stroud: has 6 touchdowns, ties the school record for most in one game. Only 2 players have done it in the first half. Kenny Guyton, the other guy, did it in the first half. So he needs one more to break the school record. I think they kind of keep him able to do that.
Yeah, that's happening.
And we'll see if that goes down. Probably a good time if you cover Ohio State to book a flight to New York City, because he's definitely going to New York City at this moment for the Heisman. No one's going to win it. He's going to be a big front runner.
Just imagine if he ran it.
Come Monday. Yeah. He would. Give him something. Hey, thanks for joining us here on the 11 Warriors Halftime Report. Jason Priestis, Chris Lauterbach live from the 11 Warriors bunker. We will catch you guys post-game.